Welcome back to Car Dad Bill, and this week we have the 2021 Kia Sorento EX Hybrid. Let's go for a ride. So here we are with the 2021 Sorento. We're going to take a couple minutes and walk around the outside, and I'll give you guys just a quick overview of what we got going on. Let's start up front with the LED headlights that the Sorento has. The LED headlights, like I mentioned in all my videos and all my reviews, are gorgeous headlights. They are actually the reverse reflection headlights, so the light is up top and it reflects out the reflector out to the road. Absolutely updated and beautiful design up front with a 3D pushed in grille that has a lot of dimension to it. It's upright, like I said, pushed in, and there's a bunch of different details inside there to make it look 3D. There are fog lights down bottom, but they are definitely hidden pretty well within that grille. The hybrid model has the kind of boring wheels, to be honest with you. Definitely shows that it's a hybrid. On the side here, there's a detail that's also matched as you go back. So as you walk back through the car, there's another detail back here in the back window, which at a distance looks sharp. Makes it look like more of a fastback design. Kind of disappears into the black windows. Looks really sharp. Around back, another styling feature that's one of my favorites are the tail lights. These ones are not full LED tail lights like I normally like, but they are definitely attractive, upright, split with a body panel, colored panel in the middle to kind of set it off. The roof overhang on the back here is also a stylish touch that I find to be pretty attractive. The third tail light is up there as well. This one, the Sorento EX Hybrid, they all have the standard lights in the back like this. This one also has the tailgate button is underneath this logo. So where it says Sorento right here, you hit that button underneath there and it opens the tailgate. Your reverse lights are also kind of hidden into the bottom trim there on both sides. Kind of gives a false dual exhaust look, but it definitely works pretty well on the Sorento. So those are my styling cues for the outside. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think the 21, this is the 4th generation of the Sorento. So it's definitely been around for a while. It's been redesigned a couple different times. I definitely think this is the best one by far. Now we're on the inside of the Sorento, and this is where I really think the Sorento stepped up its game for sure this year. A couple things I want to note are the vents and how the unique design of the vents is. They are absolutely adjustable. You can toggle them back and forth, side to side, up and down. But inside there, you want to close them, they click shut. The bottom vents, these little vents down here as well, can toggle back and forth, but they can't toggle any other way, just side to side. Kind of gives you some air on your legs in your midsection. Down here are where the wireless charging port is. You have 2 charging areas, your USB in the middle, and some storage down there. The middle here is another area that's really fancy. You have the rotary gear shifter with the push button park and your drive select right here. You're able to select between Smart, Eco, and Sport. And every time you switch this, it switches up on the dash up there, so you know which one you're in. You also have the push button parking brake, parking assist, your hill descent control. This auto hold is for when you're in traffic and you don't have to hold the brake the whole time. And these are your parking cameras. You can select between different cameras. Regular cup holder and some storage down here as well. Your heated seats are up here on both sides. Up here on the dash, there are touch controls for all of the different selections. Let me get a spot here where you guys can see this better. So we have some fan controls that are all touch. These are toggle buttons for your heat, AC, everything that's besides these buttons on the sides is our touch buttons with all your different menus to swipe back and forth like all the other cars nowadays. These dedicated buttons are for what they say. Your volume and your tuning controls are also here. And there's speakers up on the dash on both sides as well. Let's take a look at the back. Now we're in the back seat of the Sorento. A couple details I wanted to point out here. This door is the same as in the front, but it has really nice styling features, kind of a brushed aluminum feel to it, brushed aluminum feel to the door handles. The cup holders have a great design. They're kind of flowing through the design line with a cup holder in the middle. And then this is an open handle, but it also has a ridge in there, so you can put things in this spot as well, and a cup holder down there, speaker in the door. So this is where you would get into the Sorento. As you can see, it has captain chairs in the back. Easy for the kids to slide through the middle and go into the back seat. And back here, I kept the hockey bag in there so you can see how big the back is or how big it's not. That seat's down, obviously, for the hockey bag, but you have 3 full rows of seats. Also, back on the back of the seats are charging ports for everybody's devices, because everybody has devices nowadays. Down the bottom is another charging port with a 12-volt outlet as well. And here's the same idea with these vents that I liked before. Toggle, open, and close. Pretty cool. Like I mentioned before, the button to open the back up is underneath. Opens the hatch. Now we have a view of our storage compartment back here. And to be honest with you, it's pretty decent sized. Take the hockey bag out for a second. You got your speaker in here, some more charging ports and cup holders for the kids. All you have to do is grab and pull on this to lift that seat into place, headrest up, and now you have your 2 passengers, 2 passengers, and 2 passengers. There's also a panoramic sunroof that goes from front to back. Really nice light comes in from there. The sunroof actually opens all the way up. To pull these seats down, I don't know that I can do it one-handed. Nope. I'll have to put them down and get back. So here we are now with the seats down, and it's a big size. Let me put that hockey bag back in. So there we are. We could fit a couple hockey bags in there, depending on how you would move them around. And to put that second row down, there's a second row button right here. And it's as easy as that. I have some things on the seat, so it's not going to go all the way flat, but they will go flat all the way down. So you have that cargo space from front to back. And it's a really nice looking interior, especially from looking back here. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. That's a nice looking interior. Another quick note while we're back here, these 2 buttons. One is just to close this and leave the car unlocked. This is to close it and actually lock the car itself. So when you're leaving the car, if you have some groceries and you're done, you just hit the lock button and it closes the hatch and locks the car. The car is actually on right now, so it's not going to do that. But if I hit this button, it will close. Hands-free. Another feature for the back seats are the backs of the seats. The seat back is connected here. Is controlled by this lever here. These are adjustable armrests, and trust me, my kids have found that it makes a cool sound whenever they go up and down, up and down. There's also some storage on each seat, as well as adjustable seats, so you can push the seat forward and backward with that latch. Now that we're sitting in the driver's seat, I want to get you guys a close-up view of this instrument cluster. It has a really, really nice display, lots of colors. Your EV controls and your EV settings are over here. So whenever you're driving, you want to stay in that green area at the top to get the best mileage you possibly can. Anytime you're going down a hill or using your brake, that charge area is going to be engaged to let you know you're charging the car. And anytime you need to get on the highway or get in front of somebody or just engage some more power, that gauge will flip all the way over to the power side, let you know that you're doing that. And that's usually when you switch it over to sport mode, it stays in that power range most of the time. I'm going to go through a couple of these features while I have this to let you see just how beautiful that screen is. It's really able to show you everything in nice color, very visual, very clear visuals. And here's your average mileage. That's what I'm getting right now, right around 30 miles to the gallon, which is pretty solid. And another cool feature that I liked about this is when you have the digital speedometer up like that, that color that's between the two lines there, as you're driving, it actually has like waves of color that keep moving towards you. And I'll try to get a video of that while we're driving later on here in the review. But again, really, really stylish dashboard and dash design, interior layout, really clean. Everything looks great. All right, we're back and we're driving, and give you a couple impressions of this car while I'm driving. First and foremost, it's a hybrid vehicle, so you're not going to have instant power unless you're in sport mode. You're also not going to have, there's the front collision. Every time someone pulls in front of you or they pull off the road in front of you, if you don't apply the brake as you approach that car, it's going to alert you that someone's turning. Back to the hybrid thing. It's not going to have a ton of power like your normal gasoline engine or turbo engine or supercharged engine or even electric car. It's kind of a mix of the two. That's why it's a hybrid. You have electric motors, you have batteries, and you also have a gasoline motor to assist when you need more power. But power aside, because if you do need power, you flip over to that sport mode and it engages everything all at the same time, and it does push you down the road pretty fast. But my big problem with this car is when you stop. It doesn't stop smoothly. There's abrupt stopping, and the brakes kind of clamp at the end, and it's just not smooth. I'm used to electronic braking in a couple different cars that I've owned over the years, and a lot of the new cars have electronic assisted braking, which kind of gradually brings you to a stop, and it's not very jerky. This car doesn't have that, or it does, and it doesn't do it well. One or the other. But that aside, road manners. Right now I'm going down a fairly windy, bumpy road, and it's really nice. It's smooth. It handles the corners really well. It doesn't jar you. It has a quiet ride, and it's very flat around corners. I was able to push this thing around corners pretty quickly during my time with it, and it never really hesitated to go into a corner, at some speed. As long as you take a good line and the car kind of sits into the corner, it definitely takes corners really well for being an SUV, of this size. And being the 4th generation, they've actually made this one a little bit bigger than previous generations. So it's not, it has a little bit longer of a wheelbase, and it has more passenger compartments, more passenger space. I'm actually going to jump on the highway real fast, flip it to sport mode. And I don't know if you guys can hear it on the video, but the motor's squealing away. I have the sunroof open right now, so there might be some noise. I'm going to shut that sunroof while we're on the highway here. This car definitely has different characteristics with whichever drive mode you're in. So if you're in sport like I am now, you touch the throttle and it puts you back in your seat. As soon as you touch that throttle, you're getting that electric motor torque, and it's pushing you back in the seat. If you switch over to smart, which is where I kind of spent most of my week with this car, is in smart mode, that kind of toggles between them for you. So if you really want more speed, you give it gas, it knows that, it puts you into that speed, in that power range, and it gets you down the highway. If you flip over to Eco, that's normally for like in-town driving, inner city driving, suburban driving. Anytime you don't need to be at highway speeds like we are right now, I would use the Eco mode. That mode kind of mutes the engine. It kind of holds the electronic stuff longer, so you use the electric motors and use the battery power more than you typically would on the highway. So starting and stopping in traffic, starting and stopping at stop signs, following behind people in traffic, those things keeps the electric motor engaged, and it's not as jerky, and it's definitely, you know, more fuel efficient. Obviously, you're not using the gas engine. But on the highway here, you guys can hear it's pretty quiet. It handles really well. It holds speed really well. Not a lot of problems with the hybrid drive itself. The hybrid drive toggles between each thing pretty seamlessly for you. And I've driven a lot of hybrid models over the years, and they've gotten way more refined than they ever were before. They definitely fixed the seamless switch between the electric motors, batteries, and the gasoline engine. So this is, like I said, the 4th generation. It's a 21 model. A lot of the things have been ironed out from the past generations. And the hybrid mode, you know, there's a lot. Every car company has a hybrid vehicle of some sort now, and they all have the same seamless transition. And being in an SUV with all the rows behind you and all the different people that can fit in the car, it's definitely a plus to have a hybrid that performs this well, and it can carry 6 passengers. So here we are on the highway, and we're at a safe, you know, straight road. And I want to show you guys what I was talking about with that graphic. So while you're driving, it makes this little wave of color that goes through, and I think that's really, really neat. We're getting off the highway here. Took my earbud out so you guys could hear the lack of road noise. This definitely has a smooth, quiet ride. We're gonna jump off the highway here, and we're gonna go back a windy back road. Definitely a comfortable car. The seats are supportive. They're soft. Driving position is adjustable. Obviously, you can move the seat up and down with the power seats. And you hear that click? That's the turn signal click. And Kia and Hyundai do a really good job. They have a really nice clicking noise. And I know that's something that's kind of minor, but other cars have a really chunky, like, brash noise. It's like a noise. That's like a kind of a sound that sounds good. Little details that are pretty good on the Kia. Kia has come a long way, I must say, and with their warranties and whatnot, it's a pretty good value. So a lot of these newer cars have several different features that alert you to cross traffic, people behind you, and now Hyundai and Kia have also brought into the market someone approaching the vehicle. So if you're parked on a side street, in our area it would be like in Beaver or in Swickley or somewhere, or Beaver Falls, somewhere where you would park on the side of the road and have to get out kind of in the traffic. The sensors in the car actually alert you as you're opening the door if someone's approaching from that side. So if you're opening the door and a car's pulling up, it'll beep and alert you, kind of like the cross traffic alert does in other cars where you're backing up and a car comes from one side or the other side. It'll also alert you to let you know there's a car coming or there's something coming. And there's also the standard rear occupant alert. So if someone opens the back door and fastens the seat belt, and you get out of the car and you turn off the car at your destination, as soon as you turn off the car, it reminds you to check the back seat. Good for sleeping babies, good for kids in general. I don't know a lot of people that would actually forget that their kids are back there, but it's there just in case you're driving around and you get out in a hurry. It reminds you that there's someone in the back seat. All right, so here we are with the Monroney from the manufacturer. I'm gonna go over a couple numbers with you guys just to let you know where we're at on this. 21 Sorento Hybrid EX in the runway red is what they call it. So the MSRP before options is $36,500. Add in the destination charge and the red paint, and it comes to $38,205. They average the fuel economy at 37 miles per gallon average. I showed you earlier I'm getting around 30 average. And a couple facts about the Sorento this year. More capability, more safety, more tech, more power and efficiency. Like I mentioned to you guys before, the bold design comes with an extended wheelbase, offers more passenger and cargo room than the outgoing model. They also offer a 2.5 liter turbo and a new turbocharged hybrid, which we're sitting in now. 227 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. You can definitely feel it when you're in sport mode. It definitely moves down the road pretty quickly. There is no all-wheel drive in the hybrid. This is a front-wheel drive hybrid that we're driving right now. And it has a lot of the standard safety features that a lot of other manufacturers have as well. The rear occupant alert, like I mentioned before, motion detection, which is segment exclusive to the Kia Sorento. It's packed with lots of tech. It's packed with lots of features, and for 38 grand, it's definitely a good model to take a look at if you have a family and you need something that can get some decent mileage. I would definitely take a look at it. I want to make sure that we're accurate on the specs for this model. This is the standard S front-wheel drive. It features a 1.6 liter turbocharged GDI hybrid powertrain with that 227 horsepower, 6-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters. I didn't use the paddle shifters the entire time I had this SUV. Some people will, some people won't. And it is built in Georgia. Let's do one more walk around before we sign off for the day. There's always a train in the background when I'm trying to do these videos. So, good and bad of the hybrid. Good is the mileage, the quiet ride in town. The bad for this model, there's a couple things that I didn't like about it. First thing was the stopping, like I mentioned before. When you're driving in town and you come to a slow stop, it's definitely jerky, and it bothers me, and it's hard to kind of get it smoothed out. The other thing is, when we get to the inside here, I'll take you inside real quick after I do one more walk around so you guys can see all the exterior features and all the exterior design. Let's jump inside here real quick. So here we are inside. Turning the car on. Goes through its little system check. And if you're in the car fairly often, then none of this stuff changes. Your HVAC and your radio controls. Although it does go to the main menu. When you're out of the car for more of an extended period of time, everything resets, and it drove me crazy during the week. This would go back to auto, driver only, different display, different temperature. None of that stuff was the way I had it when I got out of the car, you know, before that. And the radio. Now that I'm doing the video and I'm talking to you guys, everything's moving quickly. But I swear, earlier in the week, when I was trying to toggle through this stuff, it was never going this fast. Going between media and radio, now it's flying. Now there's no complaint. Look how quickly those buttons react. And that's good. That's how it should be. It should be quick, it should be precise, it should work really well. But like I said before, earlier on, it had some trouble. And also, you can hook up your CarPlay with the iPhone, which I had connected to this the entire week, but I took it off to do these videos because it was definitely fighting with the vehicle. It was a wireless hookup, so your phone can connect to the car wirelessly through the CarPlay, and you can also use, you know, the wire to connect it and go through the CarPlay as well. But I definitely suggest getting a little more familiar with how the Bluetooth and how the CarPlay works before you do videos or want things changed, because once you get that CarPlay attached, it sort of takes over the car, takes over your phone, and it slows this whole thing down. Because right now, as you can see, anything I select is quick, man. It's flying through it. So that's good. So maybe it went from a bad to a good thing. So that's this week's look at the Sorento. I appreciate you guys watching. Do me a favor and like the video, share it with your friends, go on YouTube, do the same thing. We're gonna be doing this every week as often as I can. We're gonna get another Kia. It's coming tomorrow. I believe it's the K5, and we will post a video of that after the week of it. So thanks. I appreciate everybody watching the video. I appreciate you guys liking the video, subscribing to the channel. Keeping this thing going, and we'll keep going. Thanks a lot for watching.